Alrighty guys, I believe we're back up. We had a little Wi-Fi problem, sorry about that. Not sure where exactly I left off. But we're watching Steve Lipsky at the table currently. I believe we lost you guys during a safety battle of which Stevie Lipsky became the victor, hence the current run. I believe the current score is 14-0. Thanks for checking in, guys. Sorry about that Wi-Fi issue. We had a couple technical issues, but I think we're back up and operational. I think the Wi-Fi signal should be strong for the rest of the match. Sorry if you guys missed part of the first rack, but a bit of a safety battle, and then Steve Lipsky ran all 14 from this rack. This is a race to 150. Steve Lipsky has 14. And I suspect he's going to draw the ball because he's pretty thick on it. So it's like a stun draw, just come off the 10 and come back to the middle of the table. He had a little bit of draw on it, but he hit the bottom side of the 10, which is why the cue ball went down. He's looking at the 2, playing position possibly for the 12. He's also looking at the 2-4 combination. 10 to the side is the easiest shot, but he'll play based on what he can have a good reward with after. Okay, great shot by Steve. Any combo is a hard combination. Steve could use the 14 to go into the stack. He's got the 2's insurance, and that is probably the way he's going to go. He might actually develop the 9 ball as a break shot if he does that for the next rack. I suspect he's going to hit this with a little bit of inside English and go right into the 1. He doesn't need to hit this hard. He just wants a little separation. How the 3 ball or the 2 ball after? And if he doesn't have a shot in the 2, this will be a horrible roll. He was trying to hit the 1 ball, not the 6 ball there. Just a slightly more English would have been favorable. This is one of those rare instances where if he doesn't have a shot, he's probably going to be better off taking 3 fouls. I believe he's frozen right on a 13, or else he would have shot the 2 by now, so he's in a bit of a bad spot here, guys. What he's looking at is to see if he can get the cue ball up by the chalk there and play a safety. On the audience here watching, we have Mika Immonen sweating the match. Steve wants a little more adaptable bridge or mechanical bridge. Tony's got one of the greatest bridges I've ever seen. This thing's massive. You could get over 2 stacks of racks if you needed. This is the greatest bridge I've ever seen. Steve's going to have no problem clearing the 10 ball. Looks like he's trying to get him by that chalk. This will be a little bit difficult. He might actually want to put a little bit of left on this from his perspective, just to check it a hair. He wants to get right past the first side pocket, leave the cue ball by the chalk. That's a great speed control shot by Steve. And Steve took an intentional foul there. Tony's looking to see if the carom off the 11 makes the 12 ball. This will be a great shot if Tony can put this down. Okay, that went very high on the long rail. Steve's considering playing a combination shot in the 12, or on the 13, 13 combination. He's got the 10 in the corner, or this combination. He's choosing the combination. That 5 landed in a horrible position, so he gave a little smile there. He's got a little work out of himself with that 5 ball. Now, Steve can hit the 2 and go into the 6, possibly develop the 9. Sorry guys, I guess I had the mic a little too live, a little bit breathy, but it should be fixed now. I don't have the means to check and see how I sound in this because there's a delay. What Steve could do here is go 3 rails, try to attack this 5 ball. This is low outside, hit long, short, go back towards the 5. Got a little love tap there, but that's a good shot there. It was a good choice. Good decision. I mentioned this stuff in the last stream, guys, but I did want to cover a couple of things about Amsterdam Billiards. This is January 20th, 2020. The room will have been open 30 years in March. Pretty impressive. We are coming at you live here in New York City. Amsterdam Billiards is located on 11th Street between 3rd and 4th Avenue. This is Amsterdam's Gold Division Straight Pool League. The owner, Greg Hunt, puts over $25,000 in cash prizes every season. Members who want to join the league can join the Straight Pool League, 10-ball league, 9-ball league, or 8-ball leagues. Greg's partnered with several world-class players and a lot of local players creating world-class animals, including the likes of Tony Robles, obviously, Steve Lipsky, Sean Morgan, Zion's V, Del Sim, myself. He's also helped out or worked with Jen Beretta, Black Whittle, Jeanette Lee, Emily Duddy, Caroline Powell, and others up-and-coming players. This last Friday, they put on a match with Efren Reyes and Mika Imnan. It was a very explosive match. Mika basically put on a clinic the match and dominated over Efren Reyes, who didn't really have much of an opportunity. In the past, they've had Kevin Clark come through, Frankie Hernandez, and SVB, just to give a couple other names that have been through Amsterdam Billiards for various clinics and exhibitions. This is a little curious. I think he can play the 6-ball, follow through it, push the 1-ball down, and get on the left side of the table. If not, he might have to be a little more creative. Okay, played the 1 and played the spot shot position to go into the stack. Now, those of you new to straight pull, if you leave a ball inside the stack, like the 6-ball, then you can play the 6 off the head spot, and typically a 2-rail position into the stack, sometimes 3-rail position into the stack. I believe Steve's going to attack this with 2 rails, going short rail, long rail towards the 10-ball. He'll either attack the 10 or the 11-ball here. Okay. Didn't quite hit it high enough, so the cue ball didn't have time to arc forward, or maybe he hit it slightly too hard. I believe Steve's going to play a safe off the 7 or the 13 ball. Freeze the cue ball in the stack. Steve wasn't able to hit a rail and took a foul unintentionally. And Tony's got the option to thin the 13, leave the cube off table. As long as he favors the line of the 10 ball, none of those balls go the 1, the 2, the 10, the 11, or the 4, because the 10 and the 2 block the material to have a clean shot. I think Tony's going to thin the 13 and put the cue ball by the middle diamond-ish, maybe favoring slightly to the right side of the table. He's looking to see right now exactly where he can put the cue. He wants to use a 10 ball as coverage for pocket blockers. Tony needs to make the best out of this opportunity to control the rack. If he can put Steve in a low percentage position, he can really make it difficult for Steve to come with a return safety. Obviously trying to freeze the cue on the rail. I think Steve can thin the 7 or thin the 13 and go back up table. Obviously, he doesn't want the 7 to get all the way over, but if it gets over by the 4 or a little past the 4 towards the right side of the table, he still should be okay. But he has to get the cue ball back up to the short rail or close to it. If you're just signing in now, this is Steve Lipsky at the table. Make no mistakes, one of the greatest straight pull players in the New York area, I'd have to say in the U.S. And Tony Robles is his opponent, another one of the strongest players in New York and the U.S. Tony's looking to see if the 8 comes off the 4 and goes in. If that's the case, that would be a very aggressive play, but also entertaining to watch. Okay, so he's playing the 8. So he's playing the 5, 15, 8, off the 4 ball into the corner. Now, a lot of times people say that straight pull isn't very aggressive, but this just goes to show you have to play some more aggressive shots in this game to stay alive. And, the 8 ball was dead, not off the 4. It had a pretty straight route. Great read by Steve. And And I'm sure Tony's a little sick that he didn't see that lined up. But Tony's going to wait for another opportunity. Hopefully we get to see both players shine and put down some numbers here. One of the main issues that strong players like Steve, Tony, and the likes is that when you play a straight pull, a lot of times your opportunities could be minimized by a strong play. Most games, even 9-ball or 10-ball, for example, you get multiple opportunities at the table regardless of how strong your opponent is. Momentum is a big thing in those games as well, though, so you still have to come with the packages when you do get to the table. It would be good to mention that Steve Lipsky and Tony Robles, along with some other players that have come through here, Jim Gautier, Meek Eminen, Thorsten Holman, and Danny Berruti, of course, have all been exceptionally influential in my straight pull game, and they're all really good teachers and obviously phenomenal players. I had to mention Jose Garcia out of the New Jersey area as well, being a strong facet. Clearly, straight pull is one of the most beautiful games and also one of the most intellectual. When it comes down to picking out the patterns, we're watching some of the finest here, Tony Robles and Steve Lipsky. It's important that Steve got immediate draw on that shot, or else he could have been stuck going underneath the balls and not had a shot. So that was a nice stroke Steve put on there to make sure he got above the stack and towards the middle of the table. The 12 ball's in a little bit of a nasty spot, and the 5 ball's in a little bit of a nasty spot, so I do suspect he's going to attack those shortly. The 9 ball does block the 14 and 7 as well, so he still has a little work for himself with this rack. He could possibly, if he's got the right angle, play a stop shot and then use the 15 to go into the 9, and then the rest of the rack should be easier. If he does use that pattern and go into the 9, he's got to make sure he hits the top of the 9 and doesn't put the 9 in the way of the 7 or 14 more and actually knocks it out of the way. That's a good shot because he gets to attack the 12 or the 9. If he does play the 9, he can go into the 14-7, and he can use the 5 ball potentially in the side as a key ball to the 15. Now he doesn't have to go into the 7 or 14. He can play the 9, play position on the 10 or the 7 or 14. And he's got multiple break shots here. He's got the 7 ball or the 15 ball. I do suspect if he keeps the 5 until later that he's going to use that as his break ball, and he'll use the 5 ball as his key ball. He might push it over now, though. Okay. He's going to go 15-5, 14-7. Or 7-14 if the 14's out of the rack as well. Now, the good thing about having 2 break shots is you can slightly err on your position and still get out. But it is wise to go ahead and pick which one you're going to use so that you can play perfect position on your break shot instead of mediocre or acceptable position. Most of us do like a break shot a little further from the stack because you can manipulate it a little more and prevent more scratches, and also add more power to the stroke if you'd like. One thing good about having the object ball closer to the stack is the pocket is bigger. If you guys are just tuning in, you're watching Steve Lipsky and Tony Robles. Steve Lipsky is currently at the table.
Okay, Steve hit that with low inside English, so that when he went to the back rail, it spun towards the left side. So he would have put right side English on that ball. And obviously power stroked it. This is a pretty negotiable rack as far as running out the balls, but he does have some work ahead of him to create a good break shot. Now the 11 may be suitable, but I can't quite tell at the moment where the line is on the rack, so I'm not sure if he's got the 11 inside the stack or outside the stack. The 1 also could be a potential break shot. And if Steve wants, he can stay a little bit underneath the 3 ball and go into the 11 and develop the 11 a little more. But if it's suitable now, I don't see him messing with it too much. These racks are racks where he doesn't really have to do that much except for concentrate and potentially develop a break shot. But all the balls seem to go in pockets. No real issues here for the likes of Steve Lipsky or Tony Robles. If you got on the other side of the 1, you can push the 11 out a little further or the 15 out a little further right now. Okay. So you can make the 11 and push the 15 out just a hair, which will make the 15 go a little further to the right side of the table and make it the break shot, keeping the 13 as his key ball. Now, if he's not doing that, then the 15 ball may go fine, in which case he's going to get rid of all these other balls up table and use as a break shot. Now, also keep in mind, he still has a break shot with this ball underneath the stack. I believe it's the 3 ball. Yeah, you could also use the 3 ball as a break shot, and the 10 ball is a good key ball. So don't be surprised if Steve doesn't look use an underneath the stack break shot. By the looks of things, I believe Steve's going to go 9, 15, 11, 10, 3. 9 in the corner, 15 in the side, 11 in the left corner, 10 in the same pocket. Okay, he got straight on the 15, so he could play the 15, 11 in the same pocket. I suspect he's going to draw down to the short rail, get a little angle on the 10 ball so he's not frozen at the rail, and then come out almost parallel on the 3, favoring slightly deeper angle. Okay, beautiful run by Steve. We got Science V sweating the match, along with Tony Robles at the moment, who's regulated to the chair, Mika Immonen, and May. Several others came out here to sweat the match. Omar Chavez. Del Sim, the Highlander, also watching the match from home. Love to have him here in commentary. He always gives some sweet insight into the match and play. And good coach in the New York City area as well. Also very lively character on the stream, so we get a little laughs here. What's up, buddy? Steve Kersing, thanks for watching as well. Guys, I am able to check the live stream feedbacks here and there. If anyone's watching and is interested about a certain position play or something of that nature, please reach out. Or other questions concerning maybe lessons with Tony Robles, Steve Lipsky, or obviously Zions V, Mika, a lot of other pros here, myself, Sean Morgan. But hope you guys are enjoying the show and watching Steve Lipsky put on a bit of a straight pull clinic here. Looks like the 5 and 7 go in the lower left corner after he eliminates the 6 ball. Once he eliminates the 6, he'll be able to play the 10 in that corner, the 5, the 7, the 12, all those balls in that corner. I'm not sure what his break shot is at the moment, but I suspect the 12 is the best one that he has right now. Glenn, thanks for chiming in here. It's a 9.5 or 4.5 by 9 table. Sorry, 4.5 by 9 Brunswick Gold Crown. We're at Amsterdam Billiards. This is one of the corner tables at Amsterdam. It has a little more room around it for the live stream, and so the players can feel comfortable. Now, that was a critical shot Steve just played there, and one that comes up super often in straight pull. He just developed the 12 ball a little bit by pushing it a little further away from the rack, which makes him have more opportunity to manipulate the break when he does go after it. What I like to do is play 9, 13, 15, 11, 4, 10 for my pattern here, and the 10 ball will be the key ball to the 12 ball. This way, Steve can eliminate all the balls up table and make it a half table game using a 10 ball, which is a common key ball, to get perfect on the 12 ball. Now he'll stay slightly above it so he can use the natural 2-rail pattern off pocketing the 10 to get on the 12. Noah, congratulations. Noah just had a baby, and he's doing amazing. Glad that the little one is healthy and well. Him and Erica, good friends of mine. Thanks for watching, guys. Danny Baruti's in the house as well. Danny, as I said before, is one of my mentors and worked with Steve and Tony and all of us to make us all better pool players. If it wasn't for this fine group of lads here, we wouldn't quite play as well as we do. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Mika Immonen is the current World 14-1 champion or American 14-1 champion, but he's one of those two. I believe he won last year, maybe it was previous year, but I haven't sweating the match. Just goes to show you the quality of these players that are desiring to catch this. Current score is 68 to -1. Tony patiently waiting for an opportunity to show his skill level. And if Steve has anything to say about it, Tony won't get to the table again. I was talking to Steve a little bit before the match, and he said he ran a 100-ball run twice this last week. So Steve's geared up to play. And Glenn, yeah, snooker tables 6x12 are massive. Nice break shot from Steve. He needs a little bit of love, and I think he's got it with the 2-ball. That would be the ideal break shot, so if he has some other option, he'll take that, but I think he's only got the 2. That just means I'll have to develop some other break shot later on. Maybe the 15 will work. Okay, he left a little angle on the 15. He might be able to go into the 13 ball here. I would try to avoid the 1, but he might go into the 13 here. Okay, good shot. Got a little congestion on that side rail with the 10-13, so he's going to have to address that as soon as possible. And if the 11 is high enough, he could use that as a, or if the 5 is high enough, he could use that as a break shot. Now, Steve might have actually tried to develop the 9 there for a potential break shot. And got a little bit of a bad roll not to have a shot in the 8. He may have to come up with the 4 ball. I know he doesn't want to do that, but the combination or the 4, I like the 4 ball. If he plays this combination, then that'll be a really strong shot. Looks like he's got the 11. Actually, between the 7 and 4, I like the 7 myself a little more than the 4. Just because I'm closer to the ball. We have Tom Ryan just stepped in. Tom is a famous comedian in the New York City area. It's great to have Tom part of the Straight Pull League as well here at Amsterdam Billiards. And Steve's first miss, a little unfortunate to get that rough on the 4 ball. But Steve leaves Tony with no easy shot. He's got either the 3-10 combination or the 9 in the corner, possibly, if he can get by the 4 ball. And the 9 is his ideal break shot, but he's probably going to have to use that to get control of the table. You got Michelle watching, David Padilla's beautiful wife. If you guys are just tuning in, this is Tony Robles' first real appearance at the table, so he's a little cold. Hopefully he can come with this opening shot, put some numbers down, and make this a nice competitive match. And Tony came with that after being completely cold, and he is ready to play, guys. Now what he could do is use the 7 to develop the 10-13, but the 13-10 in the lower left corner, as we're looking, it's not a bad combo. Playing it up table is a lot worse. Now Tony just created a great break shot with the 5 ball. It's a nice little spin shot there, and he did what Steve did for the 9, but Steve got a little bit of a bad roll. Tony has the 7 ball or some other options. Now if Tony can get rid of the 6 and the 3, he can use the 11 as his key ball. That would be ideal. But he may have to take out those balls in a little more of a, I'll say, construction way rather than surgery. Tony is a smart player and very advanced with his patterns, so whatever Tony sees here, he'll use to his advantage to make the run out a little easier. I'll do a quick shout out to Gail Glazberg, who's watching the match from home. She's watching a little one while Tony gets to go to work. Okay, now as long as the 3 goes, that works well, because then he can use the 3 to the 6 for his last 2 balls to get on the 5. He would like to have a little bit of an angle favoring the other side for the 4, so he could play position on the 13-10 a little easier. So he may have to draw back and forth, or he may have to spin this with top inside. I believe he's a little too thin to spin it with top inside, so I suspect Tony's going to hit it with the back and forth shot. We had the angle go directly into the balls now. Maybe the 11-6 wasn't as wired in the side as I thought, meaning I thought he could play the 11 in the side, then play position on the 6. Now he definitely can, but he may just eliminate one of those and play for the combination and use this a different way. Okay, I think he's going to go with my initial pattern, which I like a lot, playing the 13-10, 13-11, and then 6. Okay, good combination shot. It was pretty wired, but any combination is missable. I should say hello to Gina Lipsky as well, Steve's better half. I won't say better because they're both amazing, but Gina and Olivia might be watching at home as well. Gina was actually taken care of by Amsterdam Billiards for a long time as well as a player. And I believe Tony's going to play this in the upper corner and just go to the long rail and back out. And natural position to the 5. Tony's first opportunity at the table. And no problem playing the tough shot in the 9. Quality run out by Tony. And Steve's waiting for his next opportunity at the table. Steve did play a really good run and then got stuck behind that 9 ball, developing it. But that happens in straight pool, so you just got to fade it and hope you get another opportunity. Several of Amsterdam Straight Pool League members are watching this match. Thanks for watching this, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. I wonder when Tom Ryan's next gig is. Maybe I'll go check him out. He's a amazing comedian, guys. If you haven't seen him, look up Tom Ryan on Pandora, or maybe Spotify is the other one. Couple channels he's got, but check him out, guys. That is the scariest shot in straight pool. And a little fortunate and a little unfortunate. Tony could have easily scratched on that shot. He hit it well, but cue ball just tracked right towards the corner pocket. Some guys like to put a little English on that shot, maybe a little inside to get the cue ball tracking a little more towards the middle of the table. But sometimes you miss the break shot when doing that, so I can see why Tony opted to just hit it flat. I should say with pure follow, it wasn't a flat hit. And Tony is attacking the 11 in the side. This is a very missable shot, but I think Tony came here to play, so he's going to put this down. He's got a little bit of time this last rack to loosen up, and came with a great shot. Do a quick shout out to Eric Chapdelaine. He's a friend of mine, came to watch the match last time. I'm sure he'll be down later to see some of this. Now, Tony could play the 4 and go into the 10. He's not likely to get in any trouble. He's got insurance with the 1, the 12, 13, and it does simplify the rack. Sometimes if you can get into the middle and sort of take everything out from the center out, it makes the rack a little easier. Other guys like to peel the rack more like an onion, so you take the outer layers first and you slowly go inside. Looks like the 9 and the 3 and the 14 are all possible break shots, even the 12 ball underneath the stack, but he's got so many balls above, I think he'll use one of the side break shots. Once he gets rid of the 1, the 8 ball goes in the same pocket, and if he takes care of the 13, then the 3 goes. So ideally, you'd like to get rid of the 13 and 1 first. He could get rid of the 9 if he wants here, and then the 1. Once he gets rid of the 1 ball, all the balls go in pockets. There's no blockers anymore, and it's pretty much time to plan out your entire pattern for the rest of the rack.
Screen set shut down.
I think it's up to Pascal window.
Sorry, guys. Set a friend trying to make sure that the stream's still up for you guys. I think it's good. It looks like it's up on my side. But some people got kicked off the stream. We did lose the first rack, a little bit of the first rack, and Pascal, the computer genius, was able to get it back up shortly thanks to the help of using a various hotspot. Very good. Another little thing to note, a lot of guys like to take out the balls that are underneath the break shot as soon as possible, and you'll notice that once Tony cleared the pockets, he opted to go ahead and get rid of all the balls underneath the break shot. Now, I'm a little surprised he's shooting a 3. I would go ahead and keep the 3 for a key ball to the 6, but he's got something else in mind. I'm sure we'll see what it is shortly. Maybe 7, 10, 2, 8, 6. I like that pattern. I think that's what he's got. So, as you can see, Tony planned out the whole rack, and a good friend of Tony's and Gail's, Naldo, just panned in. Naldo, hope you're enjoying the show. Now you can see Tony got a little out of line.
The 2 ball, so he's opted to go ahead and change his pattern up. But I do believe he was going to play 2-8-6 for his last balls, and had to recover a little bit. Got a little straight on the 2 as well. And he could play 14-8 actually if he wants. I think that's what he's opted for. So the 14 ball may have been a little high there, and that may have been why he chose to use the 8 instead. Yeah, Tom, I do like table 20. We're actually set up on table 21, which is where I ran my first 100-ball run. So the table that I have the camera on is my first 100-ball run, and first person I called was Steve Lipsky, and he told me to never call him that late again. But I was all excited. I followed up calling Danny and then Ginky. But Ginky was headed to the room, so I didn't really need to call him. Just kidding, guys. But back at the ranch here, we got Tony Robles in the break shot. He's going to hit this probably with a straight draw stroke, and I think he'll draw it all the way to the back rail and up. So I expect a power draw stroke on the shot. We'll go to the short rail and back to the center. Okay, so Tony's a little more control. Made sure he didn't lose the cue ball at all and played a softer draw stroke. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. Is the mic up, guys? Anyone in the stream, if you can hear this, give me a quick shout out. Let me know that I'm live. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. Maybe the mic moved or there was a little glitch in the system. Hopefully you can hear me now. There's a bit of music in the background. I'm trying to make sure that I don't overpower the players with my comments because I am pretty close to them. Yeah, I think we're back all right with the mic, guys. I appreciate you guys sounding in and letting me know what's going on. Danny Brady, I wish I sounded a little more like Coltrane on the mic, but we'll have to deal with my low Barry voice for a little bit instead of a tenor sound. At least I don't sound like a soprano. And Gina just tuned in, Gina Lipsky, Gina Kim Lipsky. Okay, that 9-ball just landed in a horrible position. And Tony's going to have to address that as soon as he can. He's also got to create a better break shot. At the moment, the 3-ball is the only legitimate break shot, and it's not really that good. Depending on how far out the 14 is, he could use that as a side pocket break shot, but that's not very good either. Tony's going to take a second and see what to do here. Guys, a friend of mine is going to try to get the music turned down a little bit. That should make it a little easier to hear me. Tony is really analyzing this because he doesn't have a good break shot and he needs to develop something. So he's going to look at his options and see what he can do to create a better break shot. Looks like the immediate pattern is 7-12. Maybe use the 15 to get on these lower balls in the bottom right corner. Yeah, we were noticing a couple Wi-Fi issues, guys, that might be causing the sound to act a little funky as well. Apologize about that. Hopefully it cleans itself up. If not, maybe Pascal can put this back up after or at a later date with commentary dubbed over it or something. Maybe Johnny Hartman. Maybe I could do a little Johnny Hartman for you, but we'll have to save that for another show, guys. You know what Tony could do? He could play the 11, get on the 15, and go underneath the balls using the 9-ball's insurance. And I think he's going to do that. I think he's going to play the 11 and try to get underneath and open those up, pushing the 10 or the 3 into a break position. But I would go 11 and get above the 15 and then attack it with 2 rails to go into those balls. He could also try to use top inside immediately and attack it. It's a little farther from this distance to be as accurate and make sure he hits the correct side of the 10 to develop a break shot. But he went at it, and not sure if he got rewarded. So what Tony was trying to do in that last shot was spin with inside English and knock the 10 in a break position, knowing that he had the 9 balls insurance. Now that he has to take the 9 ball out, it'll be a little more difficult to create that sort of environment, developing that 10 ball or 3 ball. He's going to try it with the 2 right now, or the 15. Right, awesome shot by Tony Robles to develop the 10. He's going to have to come with a good shot in the 3 in the side, but he may have saved Christmas by developing that 10 ball. We'll see here shortly if he can get on the 12 or the 14 off the 3 ball. He would like to use the 15 ball as his key ball because he's going to have to shoot the 3 ball. It looks like my stream's still going, guys, so if you're having problems with the stream, I think we're okay. But I'll just keep chatting as if it's going well. Don't overcut that ball. And would have had a tough shot coming from there, but very tough rack. A little rough. You see that both players sort of got stuck in the run developing break shots. Steve developed the 9 and got stuck behind it and ended up losing from there, trying a tough cut shot in the 4, and then Tony Robles developing the 10 got stuck behind the 3 and had to come with a tough shot in the 3 and killed his run. So you'll notice that most of the runs have ended so far after trying to develop a break shot, which is usually a cause of the rack not quite opening up easy where you have break shots and you don't really have to develop. So a little extra work on these players to try to maintain a run here. Maybe the table will open up a little more as we continue with this match. This 15 ball, you'll notice balls in the stack are usually good key balls for outside the rack break shots, typically on the right or left side. I don't know if you guys noticed, but that last ball just skid on him, but he's going to be all right here. He should be able to hit this with top inside and go around the 10. He doesn't want too much English. I think he's got position. It's a little fortunate for Tony Robles not to get a little more balls on the table with that run because he was playing very well. The stack just sometimes, or the balls just sometimes tell you when your run's going to end. You can see there Steve didn't have a really, I'll say, explosive break shot because he didn't have enough angle on the break shot. He really wanted to be further to the right of the break shot in that particular case and have more angle so the cue ball would have more power. But he's all right here. He can come with some things. I might play the 15 and play position on the 14. I know it's a tougher shot, but you're almost guaranteed a good break shot if you get to the left side of the table on the 14. Now, if he shoots the 14, he could go around the world with low outside, or he can try to go back into the stack. I actually think I might go around the world because I could play position for the 8 and use that to get on the 5. But Steve's going to make the best decision here. I'm looking at the 5 ball, and it doesn't look like a terribly difficult shot from where he is. It's not ideal. But if you're to play the 5 ball and go 3 rails, you might end up with a perfect break shot in the 14, and then the rest of the rack will be easier. Okay, so he hit it a little thick trying to use inside English to get on the 8 to get back on the 5. Amsterdam does generally recloth the tables every 4 to 6 months here. This table has been used and abused by all who love it. Playing a lot of matches out here and a lot of lessons actually on this table, but still plays very well despite the appearance of abuse and love. Notice Tony left a lot of angle on this 5. That means all he has to do is pocket the ball and he'll be able to shoot right through the rack. The 11 ball might tie up with the 14 ball, so I'm not sure what shot he'll shoot after, but he's going to hit this with some pace and probably a pure follow shot and just try to eat through the 4 ball. Nice long follow through on the shot to clear it open. Good shot by Tony, and solved most of his problems, not all of them. Looks like the 3 ball might be the best break shot at the moment. I could see Tony developing possibly the 4 ball or it looks like the 4 ball maybe, or the 3 ball if he wanted, but 3 ball's a little risky. I suspect he's going to play the 9 position on the 1, get rid of the 14, the 6, and then start to devise the rest of his pattern. He's looking at the 4 ball as his worst situation. He's trying to see how he can get rid of the 4 ball and keep the 13 as his break shot, assuming that's the best break shot. The problem with the 13 is he doesn't have a natural key ball for it. So he may have to develop a key ball here over a break shot. Well, Tony's playing a little more deliberate than I would. Just take the 9-1 and 14 and then start to plan my pattern after. But he's really trying to see how he can get a good break shot or a good key ball on this 13. Okay, so Tony's doing a little something different here, so I'm gonna watch and learn, see what he's up to. Now, Danny said 6 ball break shot, so what Danny's saying is he'll go 14-1 and then hit the 11 and push the 6 into position. I still don't see an easy key ball if he does that, but maybe Tony will be able to develop something here. The 12 to 13, if all else fails, isn't the worst key ball break shot pattern. I don't think the 6 is as much of a problem as you may believe, Jack. The 6 goes in the right corner, and he should be able to address that. He might even be able to address it now. What I suspect Tony will do is try to develop one of these balls into a better key ball position or use the one ball as his key ball. But I think the one's a little risky, to be honest. Actually, you know what he's going to do? He might use the 4 ball as his break shot. That's what I think he's doing. I think he's going 13, 15, 2, 4. I didn't realize the 4 ball was in a good break shot position. I thought it was a little higher, but he's going to go 13, 15, 2, and then 4 break shot. There you have Tony Robles putting on a little bit of a clinic as the right way to run out this pattern. I didn't even see the right way until he got halfway through the balls. I'm glad that I got to learn a little something from Tony here. Beautiful pattern by Tony, and we all get a little treat there with a nice run out. Amit actually used to shoot at Amsterdam Billiards a long time ago. That's good to see on the street, Amit. Hope you're enjoying the likes of Tony Robles and Steve Lipsky. Current score, I believe, is 78 to 45 in favor of Mr. Lipsky. Notice Tony's not really attacking the stack with any power. He's using the angle of the break shot and his knowledge of how to go into the stack to do a control break as opposed to a power break. Now, if Tony can get on this 3 ball, he'll be able to open up the rest of the stack with ease. So I suspect he's going to go 2, maybe attack the 3 ball right away, or play the 10, 5, and then get on the 3. He's shooting to the blind pocket here, so I'll have to judge the angle very cleanly here. Okay, good shot by Tony. I can play the 2 and 5 and then use the 3 to open up the rest of the stack. And he wants to use the 1 ball after hitting the 3 to open the rest of the balls. So I do believe we'll go 10, 5, and then 3. This is an even race to 150. John Morrison, my old teammate, just joined. Henry Chan, friend of mine. Guys, thanks for watching. Hope you're appreciating the match. It's been pretty tight and a lot of good shooting from these guys. Only thing holding them back is really position after trying to create break shots. So we're watching some solid pool here. If you're just tuning in, this is Amsterdam's 14-1 gold division. We have top pro Tony Robles here with another top pro Steve Lipsky playing some straight pool, race to 150. This is in New York City's premier pool hall, Amsterdam Billiards, located on 11th Street between 3rd and 4th Avenue. And there are other final matches going on today for the leagues, including Team 9, Team 8 ball, Individual 9, Individual 10 ball, and a second division straight pool match as well. If you're not familiar with Amsterdam Billiards, they did just put a show on with Evan Reyes and Mika Imnen this last Friday. It was a great showing by both players. Mika was the fortune of being the winner. He played very well and pretty much won the clinic, and Efren really didn't get many opportunities that set. But still fun to watch. The final score, I believe, was 15-9. And do a quick shout out to Del Sim, who's watching the match. He's an amazing player, good commentator as well. We call him the Highlander around these parts. Zines V is also in the house. Mika's watching the match as well. And a lot of good players here just to check it out. Sammy Islam's here watching the match live. Buddy Alex Masucci. Shad Morgan, Omar Chavez, also known as Omar Coffee on the Facebook stream. A lot of guys interested in this match, though. It's a good vibe here. If you guys are in the New York City area and want to visit an amazing room, Amsterdam Billiards is the place to go. They have great staff, great food, great players, fun place. So currently Tony's dealing with an 11-9 situation. I do believe if he gets in between the 13-1, positionally there's a little window where you can play the 11 ball. And the 15 ball looks like a good way to get there. Now he could try to develop the 15, make it a better break shot. If he does do so, he'll have to play position on the 13, so I want to make sure he hits the bottom side of it, not the top side. Okay, now he hit the top side, which is why he doesn't have an easy shot. I think he might have to shoot the 14 here. I'm not sure if he got position on the 13 ball. So Tony's going to have to come with a shot here. Tony will pay strong attention to his fundamentals to make sure that he gives his best chance of going in the highest percentage. And hit the outside of the pocket, nothing but net. Great shot by Tony. And he gets to continue his run with that fine play. He did develop the 15, so he'll try not to get rid of that ball. It is his preferred break shot. Still has to deal with the 11-9 at some point. He's on the wrong side. It'd be ideal if he was on the 12 and play the 12, play the 7, then the 1, then get rid of those balls. But instead, he's going to have to probably come and maybe attack those balls. Play for the 7 in the side. Let's see if he can get above the 7. Okay, that'll work. He just clipped the 9-11. He's got a shot in the 7 ball up table. Not his preferred choice. He would have liked to have hit that stack a little further to the left and had an easier shot in the 13. I don't think he has a choice. I think he has to shoot either the 1 ball bank, the 1 ball cut, or the 7 ball up table. He likes the 7, so he's going to go ahead and focus on that. Another great shot by Tony. Now what Tony could do is he could say, you know what, not having much luck with this 15 ball. I could still use the 13 ball as my break shot and use the 9 to get on the 11. And I see another possible pattern here that maybe Tony won't play, but if you played the 15 in the corner, played for the 1 in the side, 9 in the corner, you could use the 11 as your key ball to the 13. But he's going to go ahead and draw into the 13 and try to maintain that 15 ball break shot. like playing the 15, the 1, then using the 11 balls as a break shot. If he plays the 1, he has to play it in the side, and he's still going to end up using the 15. So I think the 15, 1, 11 is going to be his go-to. I think he got above the 1. So if he got straight, he'll have to go to the other side. But if he got on the correct side of the 1, he'll favor the left side of the table. And he was pretty straight on that ball, so he had to cheat a little bit to get it to go, and played a great run out. Tony pretty much forced the run out there. It was not a natural position. He played one shot, developing the break shot, which he ended up having to bail out on, and he hit it on the center of it instead of the bottom part of it, and that's why he got hooked on the 13. So again, extra work because the table's not working with him, so he's having to force the run out. I believe Tony's going to use top outside on this. My guy's current score is 77-60. Steve Lipsky in the lead. Tony's slugging himself, so he's re-racking to make sure he's got a good break shot. Okay, so Tony played position for the 12 ball, knowing that it would come up. And that is if you hit that softly, the 12 will clip the 1 and come up for the side pocket. Good read by Tony. He can play the 12, the 4, and then use the 15 ball to reopen the stack. And I suspect that's exactly what he's going to do here. So 12, 4, 15, and then his secondary break shot will be the 15 ball. Slight mental lapse there, and
I just realized that. When I started the game, I just realized that that's true. There's only one ball difference. Okay. So it's so what is it? It should be 78 to 60. 78 to 60. Yeah, whatever it is, I trust you, man. I'll go back to the top. Doesn't matter.
any one of you guys out there on the stream, if anyone's been keeping track of the score, this is where Phil Capel would be my hero, and he would chime in and say, "Hey, this is the score, guys." But we had a little mishap with the beads, and we started marking a little reverted. These guys play so much straight pull that it's kind of funny. But anyway, we believe it's a 78 to 60. Should have some fun here. And Steve might use the 4 for the break shot here because he got the right angle. He was probably playing to get straight on the 4 and use the 15, but the 4 might actually be better, so I think he played for the 4. Joey, we miss you here around Amsterdam. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're still playing the Team 9 Ball League. Gino, your man's back at the table, so you may want to watch a little bit. Okay, so that was a pretty interesting roll there. I think Steve's got the 7 in the corner, but this is pretty funny, to be honest. He might have the 14 as well. He's just making sure this doesn't throw to the point. If it does, he'll use a little outside English to make sure he doesn't get unfavorable roll there. And he's going to either have the 1 or the 14 if he doesn't have the 5 ball. As the table currently lays, looks like a 15 ball is his best break shot. I'm not sure if the 10 and 6 go. By playing the 5, he'll open up the 13-9-3 unless the 3 gets tied up again. Okay, he missed the 3 and hit the 2 instead. Just as well, the 13 ball goes currently. The 9 ball goes up table if he has to. If you guys are just tuning in, Amsterdam Billiards has supported Steve and Gina as house pros here, as members of the club, so to speak. And the room's been open almost 30 years. As of March, it'll be 30 years in business. Pretty amazing feat for a pool hall. If you have a chance to come out here, you'll see why. Now Steve could attack the 6 here and he'll shape on the 7 or the 14. Might be a little risky, but I might take the risk just to make sure the 10-6 go. He's opting to go ahead and play the 13 instead. Well, now the 15 ball leads to the 10 and 6, so he doesn't have to address that problem as immediate. He could probably play the 14. Well, the problem with the 10 and 6 is that he needs to clear the 8 out first. So, still has a bit of work out of himself here. He's going to use the 9 to go into the 6, and then he'll have the 8 ball's insurance. So, he'll go 9. He'll tap the 6 lightly, and then the rest of the ball should be okay. He'll have either the 6 ball or the 8 ball. Chris Lynch, who used to run the Straight Pool League, or actually he ran the 8 Ball League here, is watching. Thanks for watching, Chris. Getting lots of complaints with the mic. Sorry guys, if it's off. Sounds like it's all right, but Rob, we apologize. We are dealing with a little bit of a Wi-Fi issue, so the sound may not be as strong as typical, as our typical stream, but hopefully it's bearable. If not, just mute it, and you guys can just watch some good pool. Okay, that was a good shot by Steve. He's got a little awkward, but I think he can go into the 6 lightly. He'll hit the 15 and the 6, and he should have shape on the 6 and be able to continue his run here. So he'll cut the 10, clip the 6 lightly, and play position for the 6 in the opposite corner. And now he'll be able to use the 6 to the 2 to the 15 as his final pattern. So current pattern, I believe, would be 6-2, 15. He will make sure that he favors the left side of the table on the 15, or he could play 15-2. But I suspect he's going to play 2-15, so he's closer to the break shot. Right, Steve must have felt like he could control his cue ball better by going 15 and then the 2. If he hits this 2, he'll probably hit it with a top inside or top right. He could also use top outside, but I think top right is the easier shot. Okay, use bottom outside, accepted a little longer shot, but he's got the right angle. Dimitri, an old friend and league member, is watching. I hope you enjoy it. Dimitri, miss you here at Amsterdam Billiards. I hope you're doing well. Hopefully you get to visit soon. Steve's racking up the balls. Guys, we're playing a race to 150 here. Steve's taking a little extra time because he got a little long on the ball. I suspect he's going to use center outside. And great shot by Steve. Steve's one of those guys that doesn't mind leaving the cue ball in the stack and take a ball in the head string. Tony, myself, and a lot of other players get a little scared and try to always make sure that we never have to take that ball in hand. But Steve is an animal. Just never seems to miss that shot. The 12-11 looks slightly challenging, but it's a pretty dead bank or a dead combination, so I don't think Steve will have any problem with that. He can use the 1 ball to open up the stack from underneath and use that 12-11 as insurance if he'd like. I kind of like that myself. I'm a little surprised by this position. I guess he's going to play the 6 and then the 12-11, or he's opting for the 12-11 now. Okay. Let's play a softly play position on the 1 end. Okay, so he had to cut it a little bit, so he wasn't able to play position on the 1 there. Now he doesn't have insurance with the 1 ball as a break shot. He may choose something a little different than what I originally thought. Okay, so it does look like the 14 ball goes as well, so he might play position. He might play position on the 14. I see a shot that seems a little risky, but if Steve were to play the 6 and come above the 10, he could play the 10 on the side and go 2 rails towards the stack and open everything up, still maintaining the 12 balls as an insurance ball. I think he's decided to go 1 and then the 14, use the 14 ball as his break shot. And if he didn't get on the 8, he could also play 10-6 and get on the 14. If all else fails, he still has the 1 ball. I think he was trying to hold the 10 to the 4 as his key ball break shot position, and that's why he was trying to hold on to the 4. But after analyzing the position he's in, he's opted to go ahead and bail out on that break shot, knowing that he's a strong player. He can develop another if he needs to after this secondary break shot. And he might have landed perfect on the 7 to push the 15 out. Problem with that is he doesn't have an easy shot, but he should have the 2 ball. If he didn't get that position, then he'll have to attack this a little later, but I don't see any other legitimate shots. He's either got the 7 or the 15 here, but he may just have to play the 7 straight ahead or the 15 straight ahead play position. Yeah, he wasn't able to push the 15 out. He does have the 14 ball as a break shot, so he'll play for the 9 ball up table soon. And maybe use the 15 to the 6 as his key ball break shot. Played a much smarter position play and developed the 15. And he can now play the 6, play the 2, 6, 9 in the lower left corner, 14, and then 10. So 2, 6, 9, 14, 10 will probably be his pattern. Now, if he can't play position on the 9, he can play the 14 to the 9 to the 10. Yeah, this is just as good. Perfect speed on the draw shot to get nice on the 10 ball. He'll draw back a little bit, or he could stop and accept the angle he's got. I like drawing back a hair. And, nice run by Steve. Looks like we're at 103 to 60 in favor of Steve Lipsky. 47 balls from being out here, and little over 3 racks. Not a tough feat for the likes of Steve, but nice power draw stroke from Steve. And the break shot didn't roll off on that one. So he had so much draw. He went up to the short rail, hit the side rail, and came all the way back down to the other short rail. Just to show you the quality of Steve's stroke. Yeah, he's trying to stay into the 11s and clip this 7 or 9 and open up this little 3-ball cluster. Okay, that's nice. Now he's got the 9 or the 8 ball to attend with, and then the rest of the rack is pretty simple. So he's going to go ahead and find some desirable way to run out this rack and get rid of the 8 ball. Okay, that was a little unique. I thought he might play that a little different, but I see why he chose what he did. He's going to attack the 12, and then he's probably going to play the 9 and maybe use the 5 ball to attack this 8 ball. So looks like 9, and then I'll have the right angle on the 5 to draw into this 8 and open the 8 up. Okay, so Steve has something else in mind to get rid of this 8-ball. We'll find out what he's going to do shortly. Maybe the 8's not in as bad a position as I thought, and he's not attacking it. It does look like he's going to use the 7-ball as his break shot, and probably the 3 or 10 as key ball. Now he could get on the 4-ball and use the 4-ball to go into the 8 if it doesn't go. He's running out of opportunities to attack this 8-ball. What he could try to do is play the 3, develop the 10 to use the 10 off the 8. That would be better if he had some sort of insurance after hitting the 3, like the 4-ball or the 7-ball. But I don't know if he has many choices here. Okay, he was playing for the 10 to take the 10 off the 8, I believe. That 8-ball, pretty treacherous. Steve's looking at it now to see if the 10 will go off the 8. Or Tony's looking at it now to see if the 10 will go off the 8. This is a tricky situation. Tony has some extensions on his cue so he can reach long shots. He's also got the best bridge I've ever seen that Steve used earlier. Well, this is not an ideal position, guys. I'm not sure what Tony has in mind here. He's probably going to have to shoot the 7. Tony's playing cross-side on the 8. This is a very aggressive play, but on this level, you have to come with the shots to keep the run going. I think he's playing a bank on the 10, and then he's going to cut the 8 down in the lower right corner and then use the 4 as his cue ball. And so we can see that this 8-ball has pretty much wreaked havoc on this run for both players. It's just been too much for either player to solve. And Steve's going to steal Tony's pattern here and probably use the 8 to get on the 4 and then use the 10 as his cue ball. Actually, he's going to go 10-4. He's too close to the rail to play the 4 first and use the 10 as his cue ball. So he's going to use the 10 ball, get closer to the 4, and then use the 4 as his cue ball. Got perfect on the 4. can swing around the 7 or do a draw stroke and come above the 7. Nice shot by Steve. He's got an ideal angle on this 7 ball. Right now you're watching Steve Lipsky at the table. Tony Robles was at it briefly before. And this is a race to 150. And I see Kyle's on, also known as Radimus to us. Amazing streamer as well. He's the one that streamed the Efranika match this last Friday. Phenomenal job, and pleasure to be a part of that with Delsim. Another quick shout out to Greg Hunt, and big thanks to Amsterdam Billiards. Got Carlos in the background watching, Panda, several others. So Steve's got a good angle on this 7, and he should hit the 5 on the top side, which means he's just got to control the cue ball from scratching cross side. This is a stun follow, I believe, if I've got the angle correct, and they'll just hit this medium stroke. A good shot by Steve. I believe he has the 4 ball or the 10 ball. If not, he's got the 11 ball in the corner. The 10 ball doesn't really lead to anything. Looks like he'd be stuck playing the 15 ball or the 6 ball. If you're to play the 10, maybe you guys have a better picture upstairs or on the camera. Some patrons trying to be careful not to shark Steve. There are lockers in the background, and he's just trying to get to his locker. Steve's been around, so Steve's not easily sharked, so he's able to put that down with no issues. And he's got the 5 ball next. He's trying to play position and get rid of this 15 ball. He can go into the 12, 13, 14 after getting on the 15, and that'll solve a couple of his problems. He'll have the 6 as insurance. He's also looking at possibly playing position to the 1 next. The 1 clears out the pocket for the 3 ball. I do like the 1 as a potential break shot, so I personally wouldn't shoot that soon. I'd play a position on the 15 first. But it does look like Steve chose the 1 ball. Maybe he's planning to open him up more with the 3, or he just feels like it opens up more lanes to take the 1 out first. I think he's going to attack this 15 ball next and go into the 12 or the 2. If he has to, he has the 2 upstairs. The 2 does go up in the upper right corner. He can shoot that now if he wants. I know Tony's run over 200. I'm not sure of his exact run. I believe it's like 254, and I know Steve Lipsky has 2 runs over 200 as well. The highest run on video recording is a 626 by John Schmidt. He recently broke Tony's record just this last year. A phenomenal run. John is trying to put on some exhibition matches in the area. Hopefully that comes out soon. Okay, so I think he's going to use the 12 to open the 13, 14. He does have to watch and make sure the 13 doesn't tie up the 10 and 9. Okay, so maybe he helped the 10 ball, I'm not sure, but it seemed like he passed up the 10 a few times, so I don't think it went before. Now looks like it does. I believe the 13 ball will be his break shot. He might be able to hit the 8, go into the 9, make it a little easier to run. The 14 ball's a bit of a pain, so I suspect he's going to try to get on that as soon as possible. Okay, so Steve wisely decided to address the 14 ball immediately, and he'll be able to use that to get back up table, but there is a little bit of congestion. Now, if he has to, he can use the 13 ball after he pockets the 14 to get back up this end of the table, and use the 4 balls as break shot instead. I think most of us like that 13 ball a little better than the 4, but not enough to risk not getting out. Could also try to get on the 15 ball, but I think he chose to go ahead and accept eliminating the 13 ball to maintain his run. I think he's looking to see if the 9 goes in the side pocket. All right, that was a great shot by Steve. He solved this final problem. And actually the 9 ball is a potential break ball, the 15 ball are potential break shots. I think he's going to stick with the 4. If so, he'll go 9, 10, 4, I believe. He could use the 10 ball as a key ball as well. If he doesn't like it, he gets to go 4, 10, 15. He's looking to see if he can get around to the angle that he's on the 10 now, if he can get perfect shape on the 4 ball. If he can, I suspect he'll go 15, 10, 4. But he'll try to get that line towards the side pocket on the 10 ball so that he can draw it enough to stay above the 4 and not get too square on the 4 ball. Okay, now he's checking to see the angle he'll have on the 10 ball to see if he can get underneath the 15 on the break shot. Just so you guys understand what he was thinking he could play the 4, play the 10 with inside English, and get on the counter, near the rail on the counter by the Brunswick. He feels like he can get a good break shot in the 15. Now he's going to have to set a little further shot on the 15, and he may even just play a stop shot and play above the 15 instead of trying to get underneath. But he was able to get by the counter. He got perfect, and this is a great break shot. Quality shooting by Steve. Racing the 150 guys, you're currently watching Steve Lipsky playing some exceptional position play against Tony Robles. controlled break shot by Steve. A little unfortunate he doesn't have a better secondary break shot. He's looking at the 11 to see if he can get into the stack. He's checking the tangent now to see if that's a viable option. If so, he'll take the 4 and go directly towards the 11. If not, he'll try to play position on the 10 ball. 10 ball's a much smaller window break shot. You'd have to be very thick on the 10 to get quality break shot off the 10. Bill Robles, one of the best coaches, very fine straight pull player as well. Appreciate him watching. I think Steve got a thick enough angle that he can clip the 13 or the 3, potentially have a good result. He's not favored to open up that much though, because he is pretty thick on it. So he's trying to get a little thinner on the ball so he can have a little more pace on the cue ball when he cuts the 11. Okay, he stayed down nicely, and despite the fact that he slightly missed at the ball, he hit it with great speed and was able to put the 9 ball down. He's looking at the 11 ball and should be able to draw it into the stack. I'll hit this a little softer than he'd like to maintain the draw. Okay, good shot by Steve. He needs a roll. And he's going to have to come with a tough shot. I don't think the 13 ball is good for the side pocket. So he's going to play the 7 ball or the 6 ball on the side. Good shot from Steve. I believe the last time I saw Steve and Tony play, Steve, I think won as well. Definitely not a surprise. Steve's such a strong player that capable of beating anyone in the world, especially when he's playing regular pull at his place. If he stayed underneath the 7, he can come up for the 3 and 11, or 3 and 14 next. And then the rest of the rack is a pretty simple layout. Probably using the 12 balls as key ball. 13 ball does look like it goes in the corner or the side. Probably the corner more than the side. Okay, he's opted for the corner. And he's getting rid of it now rather than hold on to it for later. If he does prioritize this, he may get rid of the 12 next, even though it's a good cue ball to the 1. He's going to hold the 12, I guess, so he's going to use the 5 to get on the 3 and the 14. He's a little low on the 14, so I suspect he's going to play the 2, get above the 3 and the 14, and then use the 8 to get on the 12. So the way I see it, 3, 14, and 3, or 3, 14, 8, 12. It doesn't have to go that way, but it's basically going to try to group the balls. This is interesting. Steve's considering playing the 2, following up a little bit, using the 8 to get on the 14 and 3, and then using the 12 as his cue ball. Now, if he got 2 straight, he might draw and come back out to the middle of the table rather than being close to the rail. But then his speed has to be a little perfect, so I think he's opting for follow. I think there's that saying, follow for dough, draw for show. And Steve chose to put the cue ball in front of the side pocket, so he'd have a full cue ball. Perfect position play. He's got a natural two-railer for the 12 ball in the upper right corner. If he wants, he can play for the side pocket, but I think he'll play for the corner. He might just use one rail. He chose the two-rail route. Came up a little awkward. You need a little more right spin to get deeper towards the pocket, or a little more draw. Okay, perfect shot by Steve. Another great break shot. Steve needing, I believe, 5 balls. This is a race to 150, guys. Awesome match by both players. Steve really is putting on a bit of a clinic here. We'll take a moment to thank my partners, affiliates, and family. Thanks Jacoby Custom Cues, Amsterdam Billiards and Bar, #1 pool destination, Azala Botanicals, Kamui Tips and Chalk, Narcoleptic, 3D print chalk holders, Baltimore City Cues, Let's Go Print NYC, Nibs Nook for all your pet needs, and the Billiardists, player management team and events. And Steve is looking great here. He's got the 5 ball, the 3 ball, 10 ball, and 12 ball. Oh, I guess he only needed 2 guys, so strong shooting by Steve and Tony Robles. Steve Lipsky, great performance, especially from Steve. Thanks everyone for watching, guys. I'm signing out. May see you guys at the next straight pull match, but please, guys, support your straight pull in your local cities. Have a good time. Have a guaranteed night of fun playing the leagues. Talk to you soon. Game over, guys. Good night.
There's only one ball. One ball got transferred. But I'm curious, is that rack or like there was that one rack where you had confusion and you started. It's Tony mark on bottom and then you had a mark on top. I think you had one rack. Yeah. You swore that he went 2 racks without marking. He went 1 rack, they marked and ran to another rack, and then went one and maybe that kind of stuff to do. So the beginning is messed up. The Wi-Fi crashed. Should have done that at the beginning. I didn't think like the hotspot, like actually, the hotspot could take like a HD stream, but it can. It went perfect after that. But the
So, what was actually the stats?
they're a little messed up. It's only the first round.
I'm saying.
9-12, yes, yes.
I don't think that
Did you miss any ball in the first round, or just a safety battle?
yeah. And I ran them.
Also, you have more than 9-12.
Yeah.
You have more. The first strike is missing. So you have 9-13, 9-14, more than that, maybe 9-20. Do you have 3? Yes, yes. It should be something like 9-30. Too bad, man. Mike told me like to put the hot spot. I didn't do it. I thought like the hot spot does not.
That's actually amazing that hotspot can take an H.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Never went to the yellow. It stayed pretty mandatory.
Alright, well, I guess at least we know for next time, right?
Yeah.
Done. You leaving? Yeah. Well, call me when you come back, Will. Watch out for this. Trouble. Good job.
Thank you, my friend. Thanks for your opinion.
I figured I already gave $50. Hello.
Thanks for everything, brother. I appreciate it. Sorry about the mess at the beginning, the Wi-Fi. I didn't see it.
I didn't either, but it's probably, I guess, makes more sense to have that here again just for that reason, right?
The hotspot worked well after the first track missing, but the entire, and we had close to 200 viewers at one point, so it went fine. Just the beginning, we had to dump everybody, and everybody had to rejoin.
I'll talk to you. All right, bro. Hold on. Have a good night, brother.
We have no idea if it's us.
Yeah. No, I already confirmed. There's 9 balls here and 9.
I was going to say, that's what we need.
I got Zion. I got Zion. You know what I did? I told him stop the show. So just because you said that, I'm going to put that.
So Mike, I should have listened to you. The hotspot went perfect the entire time.
Actually, I thought it was Lipsky that said to do this.
Alex or Mike said it for sure.
He had an internet problem, and I said use my hotspot because he had
Then I think you actually both said, because I actually heard him say it.
he had like 19 viewers. I was like, they haven't started yet. Just restart it. Tell everyone we had to restart because of Wi-Fi, and then just
We
go
should
with
have
that.
done that. The first track is missing. The rest is there.
I captured the whole thing, so we're gonna see if we can
Give us
splice it together.
you have the entire match?
I'm looking at it, yeah.
Okay. So hey,
Maybe we can put it together.
Oh, you can
On
put
my
it on
I'm
page.
gonna get the match,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna calculate your real OPI. It's gonna be the new.
We can figure it out.
No, yeah, because actually it's a good point. In the first rack, there were quite a few saves at first.
A lot, yeah.
I got the first shot and I ran the rack. 27 maybe.
And then you ran a 42 after that, something like that.
Yeah,
46,
that sounds about right.
37.
Okay, so we'll put it together.
Okay. Thank you.
I saved it private so not everyone can see it because Mike had a good idea as a backup. So
Did you stream it live?
I was streaming it live, but on Facebook, but private, so nobody else can see it.
Okay.
So then Mike could probably do commentary over it, or you can get the stats from this as well, or whatever you want to do.
Sure, he wants some commentary again, but
Right.
I would like to share it. I'm gonna rip it. I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna get the stats.
Let me see. Share it to. I should be able to share it to you.
Show it to everybody. Yeah. Sent by messenger.
Yeah, you should have access to that.
Click on
Yeah. Sent. You should have the link right now.
I think you sent to nobody. You press upload.
Specific friends. You know, I'm just gonna add you to the private list. So you.
Attachment unavailable.
Okay, yeah, because it's private. I'm gonna upload.
Just make it public. Or share it with friends or something.
Yeah.
Cool. have the stats offensive play. It says how well you played offensively. Right? It doesn't calculate anything about it. Play just when you try to make a ball.
If you're going for a ball and you make it, that's 100%, right?
Yeah, if you to get one to get perfect, you need to run out 100 and out. That's the only way. So still, like 900 is very tough to break. Only broke it one time on 7, and now that's the first time like on the stream. He broke it when he was on the stream, but it's the first time on the stream that broke it. So he was kind of happy, but he got 912, but he's even more than 912 because
Could be more because of
the first rack is not there. Yeah. All right, cool, man.
You played some nice patterns, Steve.
Where's the